looking at it from a sort of planetary perspective, I think describing the situation as an emergency is warranted, but the problem is the meaning of the word in human terms is much more short-term. And I think there's a risk that by describing it as an emergency, you trigger human-style emergency responses, which may just consist of hunkering down on prioritizing in a triage mode, whereas we cannot afford to go through a triage mode where we only adapt and are therefore too busy to mitigate, where we only focus on one greenhouse gas but not on the other one. We need to pull all available levers, and I think there is a risk of an emergency framing that it triggers a short-term fight or flight response just from a human psychology perspective. But that's notwithstanding that if you look at the implications at the global scale, the word emergency probably isn't an overstatement.
Right.
But it's an emergency that we can still manage, and over timescales that go well beyond what we normally in our emotional response describe as an emergency measure, because emergencies last hours, days, weeks, and anything beyond that is a strategic response. And that's still what we need for climate change.